Together to thank you for your goodness. We're so grateful for who you are to us. I love you, Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails me. In all my days, I've been held in your hand.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
The moment that I wake up,
Tamika, good morning.
till I lay my head, oh, I will sing the goodness of God.
She shed Dean. I don't know what that says. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, Boop. Tanya, Lisa, Helen. Becky, good morning. Liz, Shava. Thank you, Tamika. Bishop Damien, Adrian. Good morning. Rochelle, good morning. Van, Jen, Tidra, good morning. Karen, Amy. Yes, I am, Millicent. Yes, I am. Good morning. Mrs. Sanchez, that's beautiful. Miss Helen, so good to see you. Becky, you call it my smoking jacket. Aaron, good morning. What's up, Jareen from Kentucky? Chastity, what's up? Why, yes it is. Yes it is. Tanya. I know it's always rough. Roz, good morning, Roz. Shay, what's up? Tori, Linda, Sarah, good morning, Sarah. I got Sarah Bloom over here, Sarah Silk over here. Got Shan over here. Good morning, Shan. Joseph, Shanitha, Markeisha, Judah, Andy, Erica, Marcus. Good morning, good morning. Sherry. Miss B. Good morning, good to have you back. We've been praying for you, Miss B. Christy, Elastigirl. Keith, good morning. Benita, good morning. Benita, we've been trying to send files all morning over here. Our internet is bad, as you know from watching the show. Clark, what up, Clark? Chase. Kia, what's up, sweet Niecy? Ron, Big Pen, Travis, cousin Travis, what's up? That goodness is running after us today. Come on. Oh, man. Hopefully today, Elastigirl. Oh my God. Monday. Thank you.
All my life you have been faithful. Jesus.
Yeah, thank you.
All my life you have been so good.
Huh? The mask and stuff on the floor. Isaac's mask and on one of the shots. I kind of moved it. Cindy, Miss Coleman. I said I move the camera.
You're so good.
Valerie, good morning. Y'all grab those reds.
You're so
Let's go, red. Come on, let's lift him up. God, you're so good. You're so good. Lord, you're so good. Lord, you're so good. You're so good. God, we're so thankful for you. We're so thankful for your goodness. So thankful for your kindness, your faithfulness. God, all week long, you've been watching over us, and we're so grateful. Would you be with us today? In Jesus' name, amen. Miss Houston, what's up? Latoya, Chastity, what's happening? Y'all, God is so good. Sister-in-law, Latala. Yo, it's Friday. It's the first full week of us knocking down our goals and engaging in the 100 days. So this is my party jacket. Whenever I go to a nice party, this is the jacket I pull up. So I pull out. So I'm wearing my party jacket today because we are partying. We are celebrating the first full week of the 100 days. Come on in here, somebody. Come by, somebody. It's not, somebody asks if it's Versace. No, it's not Versace. It's Bonita. It's the knockoff Versace. It's Bonita. So, yo, we are celebrating. We made it. We made it. Even if you didn't hit all the goals, you made it. You're being intentional. We've been in this space. You've been intentional about your faith, been intentional about your God. So we are excited about it. This is the Friday celebration jacket. First 5 days. I'm all about celebrating small victories. I'm all about celebrating the small wins. So we will party every step of the day, every step of the way on the week. So you ain't driving. Yo, y'all have a good week. Y'all have a good week. How was the first week? Were y'all intentional? What are y'all talking about on here with Spectrum? Oh, okay. Yeah. Spectrum, we meeting with them, trying to see if we can get them up in here. Yeah, how was the week? Somebody said faux salchi, Robin. FAUXSAWCHEE. Faux sachi. This ain't Versace. Faux sachi. I like that. First week is wearing you out. Is wearing you out. It's wearing you out in a good, healthy, spiritual way, or wearing you out? What do you mean? What do you mean, Shay? It's wearing you out. Started rough, but finishing strong. Elastigirl, so good. To Lane. Look, I guess you probably responded to something Lane said, Jill. Hi, Jill. Oh. A struggle, but I made it. Learning memory verses is not easy. It's not as easy as when it was when I was in elementary. Hey, but keep at it. That is beautiful. That's a good place to struggle. That's a good place to struggle. Struggle with learning the memory verses, physically and mentally. Yeah, well, I'll be praying for you. Let's just keep at it. Devil snatched my roots off my iPhone. Struggle. So, okay, so we got some folks struggling. Very insightful week, learning that I have a lot more progress to make. Yeah, he found me in some very unexpected places. Okay. Keeping me focused. One of the better weeks I've had in the last year. Good. Insightful week. Surgical worship yesterday. Come on now, I'm Vanessa. Surgical worship. I like that. My resistance sometimes bites back. I like that. My resistance sometimes fights back. Slipped in my sugar fast, but I'm trying. Yep, one day at a time. Small victories. Let's count the small victories. Insightful week, sir. I'm good at your word, at your word, at your word. So good, so good. Eye-opening week, yes. Trying to give myself some grace, but trying to be disciplined. Intentionally praying for turning sand into pearls. Yeah, it's spiritual warfare. Our neighborhood. We also have back of the hospital. Yeah. Yeah. Me too. What did she say? Learning how to spend time with God with an active 7-month-old and trying to invite him to. Yeah. Trying to give myself some grace. Yeah. 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 That's good, y'all. This is good. This is good. Yo, here's the deal. Give yourself grace. Oh, that's so good, Sean. For the first time in my life, I feel I've heard God's voice and I'm letting him in. That's really good. Really, really good. Roller coaster like always, teacher said. Yeah. Learning that emptiness is where God works. Yes, yes, that's good. That's good. That's so good. So good, Jessica. Thank you. So, yo, it's good news today. Morning show. We partying. We're celebrating the small victories. We're celebrating small victories, and we're gonna celebrate small spaces, small wins every step of the way. And if you ain't got no wins to count for this week, guess what? The fact that you are in here, the fact that you are watching this, the fact that you are doing a daily devotional show gathered together in this space is your win. So we counting all the wins, we counting all the victories. Let's celebrate, because everything's gonna be okay. Let's go. Come on. It's Friday. It's Friday. We winning, we winning. Let's go, let's go. Yo. Everything's gonna be okay. Hey, be encouraged. Everything's gonna be okay. Yo, journals are on the way. Our team is packing. We getting shipments in every day. So every day last week, we got a shipment in. We mailing it out. So the shipments are coming in. So stay tuned. Stay holding on. If yours hadn't come in yet, I promise you it's on the way. Finally learning to overcome my anxiety and feel a heavy weight lifted. Trusting God no matter what is happening in my life. Tiffany, that's awesome. That's awesome, Tiffany. Yo, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Journals are on the way. See a couple of you asking. Folks are getting them. I appreciate y'all tagging and hitting us up, celebrating when you get them. They're on the way. They are on the way, I promise. They are on the way. Yo, this week has been crazy sitting in the book of Luke. It's been rich, but it all leads up to what I wanted to talk about for today. It's all leading up what I want to talk about for today. Scarlett, it's on the way. I like that. We winning. We have Jesus, so we always win. Always win. Yo, this party jacket is a little hot, but it looked good. I feel as long as it's giving you energy. I want to give you energy today. I want to send you into the weekend with some energy, as I go into the weekend sweating. At thy word. Come on in here. I will go again at your word. At thy word. He says, Connie Grant said, I could not wait. I made my own. That's what I'm talking about. He says, at thy word, I will go and I will believe again. I will fish again at thy word. Simon answered, Master, we've worked hard all night. This is Luke 5. Luke 5 for those of you that are joining us for the first time this week. Master, we've worked hard all night and haven't caught anything, but because you say so, I will let down the nets." When they had done so, they caught such a large number of fish that their nets began to break. So they signaled their partners in the other boat to come and help them. And they came and filled both boats so full that they began to sink. When Simon Peter saw this, he fell at Jesus' knees and said, "Go away from me, Lord. I am a sinful man." For he and all his companions were astonished at the catch of fish they had taken. And so were James and John, the sons of Zebedee, Simon's partners. Then Jesus said to Simon, "Don't be afraid, from now on, you will fish for people." So they pulled their boats up on shore and left everything and followed him. Yo, like, somebody said no fat tugs on Nice Jacket. The fat tugs are just built in, y'all. I'm sorry. The fat people know what I'm talking about. Yo, do y'all see where we going with this text? I feel like I could just read it and just shout and pass out. I really feel like I could do that. But we're going to talk about it. Let's walk through it. Hit share if you're on Facebook. Invite some friends. They're gonna want this word. They're gonna want this. Devastated by failure, he says, "I've been fishing all night and I ain't got nothing. But Lord, at your word, I will go again." Can we just sit on that? That was the last word. No, excuse me. That was the last word from yesterday. And we didn't just talk about it. I just dropped it on you and we got off yesterday. You know why we're going 100 days of intentionality? At his word. At his word. Some of us, we just need to trust God to be who he's going to be. And it ain't going to be easy. It's going to be rough. You're going to have missed marks. But I'm telling you, if we stay consistent and intentional, if you get off, get back on, keep coming, keep showing up, keep engaging God, keep seeking him at his word. At his word. Not because Albert said it, not because I'm bored, not because it's quarantine, but at the word of God. Some of you just need to believe again because you trust his word. You trust his word. Can I encourage somebody today? Believe again. At his word. Take him at his word. Take him at his word. At his word. At his word. And what happens? He trusts him. He goes out and watch this. He goes out and they get so much fish. So much fish. Why? I said it yesterday. Jesus speaks fish. The difference between this time and the last time is Jesus wasn't in your boat. Jesus is in your boat and he speaks fish. When you get in his presence, he'll lead you and guide you to where his provision is. He goes and there's so much fish. So a place that was marked with scarcity is now marked with abundance. Why? Because Jesus is in the boat. Okay. All right. Come on, Bishop Nesby. Come on. What's up? What's up, Doc? I can just let you take it from here, Bishop. What was a place of scarcity has now become a place of abundance. What's the difference? Jesus is in your boat. Can I tell you, when you allow Jesus in your life, you will walk in places that used to feel like scarcity, but now it's abundance. Why? Because Jesus is with you and you got the abundant one resting inside your boat. Don't underestimate the power of walking with Jesus Christ. Don't underestimate the power of having the abundant one resting and walking in your boat. You are not doing some small thing. Your intentionality with God is not some small thing. It's not some parenthetical thing on the side. It is a mark of abundance. The abundance of God. In the presence of God, you will find the abundance for your life. In the presence of God, you will discover the abundance for your life. And what used to be marked with scarcity, with not enough, with insufficiency, with insecurity, with desperation, with destitution, what used to be marked by that is now marked by abundance. Why? Because you are walking with the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the great provider of all. Jesus is in your boat, and he goes and they experience abundance. The abundance is so much. The abundance is so big. He can't even handle it all. He can't even handle it all. Can I tell you, on the other side of your obedience is an abundance that you won't even have room to receive. Ah, that's a Friday word in here. Come on in here, somebody. On the other side of your obedience is an abundance that you will not even have room to receive. The obedience is the byproduct of walking with Jesus. I love that. The abundance, Jen underscore I. Thank you, Bishop. On the other side of your obedience, I'm telling you, on the other side of your obedience is an abundance that you won't even have room to receive. It's going to force you to get committed. Watch this, watch this. He didn't even have room to receive it. He had to call for help. So he had to call his other friends and say, hey, I need y'all to come receive some of the abundance and the blessing that I've received, because I just can't fit it all in what I have. So I got to share it. There's going to be an abundance that's so great that it's going to force a shared way of living. It's going to force generosity. You ever been so blessed, it forced you into generosity? Because you're like, I can't even keep this. I feel bad keeping this. Y'all find somebody to give away to what God has given me so much of. Can I tell you, on the other side of your obedience, there is an abundance. God's not playing with you. His promises aren't light and okay. They are yes and amen. His promises are not light and okay. His promises are yes and amen. You won't have enough room to receive the abundance that's coming on the other side of 2020, on the other side of a season of suffering and sacrifice and marked by less than. He's a God of sacrifice. He's also a God of abundance. He's a God of more than enough. And I'm telling you, there is an overflow. I love that, Bishop. Obedience releases abundance and favor. He had so much, he couldn't even hold it. He said, help, y'all come over here and help me. Watch this. Watch this. The abundance is so great. The abundance is so great that the second boat comes and he floods that one. He can't even receive it all in there. The ships are starting to sink. They can't even hold the blessing of God. Can I tell you, on the other side of your obedience in this season is a blessing that you won't even be able to hold. You won't even be able to receive it all. It's going to be so much abundance. It's going to force a generosity. I guess all this week, I wanted you to see this passage. I want you to see this text, because as we start with our 100 days, I need you to pray big prayers. I need you to expect God to be God in the biggest sense of his godness. I need to say that again. I need you to expect God to be God in the greatest sense of his godness, and know that he's going to be God. And when God is God, God is good, and it's beyond what I can receive. So I don't need you to go into this 100-day journey with low expectation. And I don't need you praying little prayers. I need you praying big God prayers. I need you praying big life God prayers. Big life, big God prayers. Because he's trying to change your nature. He's not trying to nuance your name. He's trying to change your nature. So I need you praying nature-changing prayers. Lord, change my nature. Pray big prayers. God, change my nature. Watch this. You cannot, watch this. And don't minimize his power and his impact by praying for a bigger house or a car or more money. Pray really big prayers. God, I want your glory. Oh. Because when his glory comes, you'll realize that fish ain't a problem for God. Fish ain't a problem for God. So don't even waste time praying about fish. Don't ask him to do stuff you've already seen him do. He's already done that. Pray in the next 100 days, God, would you do in my life what you've never done before? God, may I see you in ways that I've never seen you before. May I see your glory in ways that I've ever seen you before. This story is not about more fish. This story is about God's glory and his purpose being manifested in my life. It's not about more fish. As a matter of fact, he does the fish so you can see it ain't even about the fish. Some of you, all you do is pray about fish. You need to hear this. If you don't hear nothing else I say, hear this. Fish is not a hard thing for God. Fish is not a hard thing for God. Provision is not a hard thing for God. Making a way is not a hard thing for God. This is not a challenge. The challenge that God has is getting folks to pray that his glory would manifest in their life. The hard thing ain't about fish. I've shown y'all I can slice and dice some fish. I can do a bunch, but getting folks to walk in my glory. Getting folks to fall in love for the fish provider, not the fish itself. It's not about the fish. In fact, he does it in abundance so you can understand this season, it's not even about you. It's not even about you. So for the next 100 days, if you can come out convinced that it's not about me, y'all, we winning. It's not about you and it's not about fish. It's about God's glory. Simon still didn't get it. What happens with Simon? Simon still didn't get it. Y'all see what happened? Y'all see what Simon did? Y'all see what Simon did? Simon, seeing this miraculous provision. Simon was a fisherman. Simon is a fisherman. Simon sees, watch this, he sees more fish than he's ever seen in his life. Simon is a fisherman. That's what Simon does. And in the presence of seeing what Jesus did. Watch this. Simon gets off the boat. They reel it in, tired, seeing more than he's ever seen before, seeing the expert, seeing, like Simon is like he thought he was a fisherman, but now he knows he is a peon compared to what Jesus just did, right? He just did it. And watch what Simon does. Simon goes and he falls at Jesus' feet and says, please leave me. Go away because I am terrible. And just like that, Simon made it about him again. This is not about your failure, Simon. If we're not careful, we'll make the blessing of the Lord about the failures of our life. If we're not careful, we'll make the blessing of the Lord about the failures of our life. God is trying to do something so great, but we are so consumed with what we are not in our own failure that we can't get over ourselves so that we might experience the glory of God. You made a God moment about you. This ain't a me moment. This is a God moment. Will you stop rehearsing your failure so that you can receive the favor that I'm trying to place on your life? Come on in here, somebody. Stop making it about you. God, I'm so unworthy. I'm so unworthy. The blessing of the Lord, I messed up so bad. I messed up. I'm so unworthy. Listen, you ain't got to tell God you ain't worthy. He know. He knows all that you are. But he says, you're more priceless than you realize to me because I created you. And you're worth so much to me. Now, your righteousness is worth nothing. But your identity and your being and your person and your presence and who you are. Because who you are is not what you've done. You're worth so much to me. I gave my life to die for you. And I knew all that you've done. And I knew all that you will do. And I know all that you will do before you even do it. And I've already accounted for it. I've already accounted for the failures that you hadn't even done yet. They're already paid for. So will you stop making moments of blessing and favor about you and your burden and your flaws and your failure? This moment is not about you. It's about my glory. Simon, get up off the floor. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it's not about fish, Simon. It's not about me being a better fisherman than you. It's not about me being better at this than you are. I created fish. This is not a thing for me. This isn't a moment for your ego to be diminished because your failure was so great, or I wasn't able to do this, or I'm not impressed by your performance. I'm impressed by your obedience. Did you get that? I'm not moved by your performance. I'm moved by your obedience. I'm moved by your faithfulness, your fidelity, your love for me and how you love me back by following me, by trusting me. That's what moves me, Simon. Not this false humility or you having this breakdown because you couldn't get that many fish. I know you couldn't get that many fish. You don't need to. You have me. That's why God is the goal, period. You get God, you get the fish. You get the fish, you get yourself. That's the difference. If you just get the fish, you just get yourself. But if you get God, you get the fish and you get to benefit from the fullness of God, knowing that you're sitting at a table that you don't qualify to be at. But because of his righteousness, you are qualified in him, in your relationship. And what's your response? I'm going to follow you. I'm going to be obedient. And on the other side of obedience is abundance. Do y'all see how this whole week just came together just like that? Everything we talked about this week just did that. It just came together. So I need you to expect the fullness of God in this season and pursue him, not fish. And out of our obedience, there will come an abundance. Watch this. The abundance ain't even the abundance in the fish. That's extra. That's overflow. The abundance is the abundance of the glory of God and his presence. We get God. And when you get God, you get the abundance. Oh, Lord have mercy. Am I going too fast? Am I going too fast? Do y'all see it? Do you see it? This is the foundation of our 100 days. This is the foundation. I'm going to record these. I'm going to put them up on YouTube. Come back to this so you can find out what the goal is. God is the goal, period. And how we get it is through obedience. And out of obedience, we experience the abundance and the favor of God. And when you see him start moving in your life, don't make it about you. Don't allow the labels and the devil to trick you into this false humility of, I feel so bad, I'm so unworthy, I'm so let me tell you something. You ain't giving God no headline news, but what you are doing is perpetuating the lies of Satan by acting like a slave. Because he wants you to act like a slave. He wants you to think like a slave. He wants you to pray like a slave. He wants you to talk like a slave. And God ain't saying you're a slave and I'm just trying to make better. No, he says you're not a slave. You are a son and a daughter. Put a ring on their finger. Put shoes on their feet. Put a robe on their back. Put a robe on her back. Because you are my sons and daughters. You're not slaves. So stop making this about you trying to hustle your way to come back in the house and know that you've got a rightful place, not because of who you are, but because of who your Father is. Come on home to your righteous mind. Side reference, Luke 15, prodigal sons. Are y'all rolling with me today? Do y'all see this gospel truth giving you your life back? I'm restoring edges today. I'm restoring edges. That's what God is saying. I'm giving you your edges back today. Come on in here, somebody. And I'm helping you snatch your righteous mind. You are not a slave. You are sons and daughters of the righteous King. So there is blessing and there is favor. Don't allow the failures of your past to cause you to undermine the abundance of God's presence in the present. Don't go making this about your favor. Don't go making this about your failure. It's about God's favor. And here's the good news. Here's the news. His favor is upon you. His favor is upon you. So don't walk in obedience to get his favor. His favor is already upon you. Walk in obedience as a response to his favor. Do you get that nuance? That's a big deal. His favor is upon you. It's upon you. It's already on you. As my man Wayne Chaney would say, it's all over you. It's all over you. His favor is on you. Walk in obedience not to get his favor, because your obedience don't get his favor. You got to understand this. Because if you see it that way, then you are in control. And you think you can manipulate God by your obedience. See, some of the old saints got really legalistic, and they thought their holiness and their righteousness earned God's blessing and favor. And God is good to me because I've been good to him. And that sounds real good, and you think it works until the reality of you not being good happens. And if your obedience draws him, what happens when you're disobedient? That means the favor is gone. That means the grace is gone. That means if you do bad, that means God won't be good to you. Well, come on in here, somebody. We can all testify, and we know that ain't the truth, because when we've been at our worst, God was still at his best in our life. When we messed up royally, God's blessing and favor showed up at our house in spite of. Come on, some of you messed up and you deserve death. You deserve to be caught. You deserve to be exposed, but God covered you. He blessed you. He gave you favor, and it messed with your mind because you said, I don't deserve it. And what you don't realize is God is saying, when you perform perfectly, you still didn't deserve it. It was always about my grace, still is about my grace, always will be about my grace. Your performance didn't earn my presence. No, it is my love that brought me here. It is my love that's going to keep me here. There is therefore now nothing that can disqualify, that can separate you from the love of God. Come on in here. It's Friday. So therefore, my obedience is not my attempt to try to earn or acquire or attract him. No, the favor is already on you. My obedience is my natural response. It is my reasonable service to say yes to a God who's been so faithful, to say yes to a God who's been so good, to say yes to a God that woke me up this morning, to say yes to a God that made a way out of no way, to say yes to a God that's kept me in my right mind, to say yes to a God who's well able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you could ask or think, to say yes. That's my, I'm having church. My obedience is my response, is my reasonable service. My yes is the least I could do to a God who's been this good. Come on in here, somebody. What you say, Ben? Oh. So notice what happens. And then we're going to go home. This is so good. This word is so good, y'all. Oh my God, the word of God is so good. That's why you keep memorizing, you keep pressing in. God's got something for you. God's doing something. Watch this. Simon says, so go away because I'm so unworthy. And I love it. God is way more gracious than we are. Simon getting on my nerves. It's like, get up, Simon. Don't stop making it about you. But you know what God says? Simon, hey, bro, let me tell you something. You ain't seen nothing yet. You thought this fish was a big deal? I'm about to make you fishers of men. NIV translates it. It says, I don't want the ladies left out. I don't want you even thinking for a moment. I wasn't thinking about you. So it says the fishers of people. I'm about to make you fishers of people. I know you got your little gig going. I know you got the thing that you thought you was going to do with your life. I know you had your profession. To be honest, it's handed down to you. And I know you've been dreaming about that for your whole life. And I'm going to use those skills. I'm going to use it. But I'm going to do something with it so much bigger than you could ever imagine. You ain't going to be fishing in lakes. You're going to fish in the world. What you just saw with fish was just the beginning. What you just saw with the fish is a metaphor for what I'm about to do with you in your life and with people. And I'm going to do it just like I did it with those fish. I'm going to do it with my power for my glory. That's what I'm about to do for you. Church, if you get this, it's the beginning of your nature change. If you get this, he says, I know you have plans. I know you have visions. I know you got hopes and dreams. And they're not completely outside of what I want to do with your life. They were just too small for what I want to do with your life. It's not that you were thinking wrong. You were just thinking small. You thought you were going to give your life to this pond and this fish. No. You're going to give your life to this world and to my people. And I'm going to do through you what you would normally have to do within your own power. And I'm going to do it all for my glory. I'm giving you a bigger gig, Simon. A bigger vision. You didn't have a wrong one. I'm going to use what you was thinking, but I'm going to use it exponentially. You wasn't wrong to want to write a book, child. You was just thinking too small about the book. You need to think about my glory concerning the book. You ain't wrong to trying to start a business. You were just thinking too small. You had the wrong motivation. Motivation needs to be for my glory. It ain't bad for you to try to lose weight. And see, that's right. You need to lose some weight, yes. But you're losing it for the wrong motive. You losing it try so you can get your summer body so you can get in a bikini. No. That ain't the purpose. The purpose is so I can use that body for my glory for decades to come. And your body won't get in the way of the work that I want to do for my glory. Stop thinking small in the presence of a big God. What does Simon do? I need y'all to see this. Before we jump off, we about to jump off, we about to go. But I need you to see this. I need you to see this right now. I need you to see this. Simon is a fisherman. He's a businessman. This is his industry. This is his job. This isn't social fishing. Simon, watch this, and he had business partners. James, the sons of Zebedee, did you see them in the text? He had business partners who had now just witnessed this. They are looking at financially something that would change their life. They're looking at fish, stacks upon stacks of fish. They got racks upon racks upon racks. They sitting on some racks, yo. They see the biggest financial payday of their career, possibly their life. They see more fish than they could have ever imagined. They had to call in other business partners to help them contain. They had to strike deals just to even bring it in. I need your nets. I need that. It overwhelmed them all. It overwhelmed the whole fishing industry there in their little community. They're looking at the greatest harvest that they'd ever received, the biggest payday that they'd ever gotten. They look at it all. They look at it all. Watch this now. Don't miss this. They look at all that money, all that fish, and they look at Jesus and his glory, and they walk away from the biggest payday of their career. They walk away from every dime. They walk away from every fish to follow Jesus and his glory, because God is the goal, period. Are you willing to walk away from it all to follow Jesus and his glory? Because God is the goal, period. They had a full nature change. Their nature of fish and money completely shifted to a nature of God and his glory. That's what God's going to do in the next 100 days. That's what we're praying that he does in the next 100 days. That we become so in love with him and his glory that we walk away from the biggest payday so that we might pursue him and his glory. That's when it gets real. They walked away from it all to follow Jesus. Friends, I pray that in the next 100 days, we walk away from it all so that we might follow Jesus and put on display his glory in the earth. And that for the rest of our days, God will be the goal, period. It's Friday. I got on a great jacket, and we just had a great word. Come on in here, somebody. This is why God is the goal, period. We walk away from it all and experience his glory. Ooh, it's hot. Y'all have a good weekend. Next Monday, let's do it again.